Hi everyone, hope you're well. Welcome to Do Daily, Thursday Thoughts. Des here, checking in with the live session, looking to answer some of your questions and pass on little snippets of information which might just prove useful. Of course, that's what Thursday is all about. Just creating a little bit of conversation, sometimes light-hearted. Looks like from the questions today, it's pretty much that. Sometimes a bit more serious. We spoke about a lot of things in which people have asked me personal based questions, and I'm always happy to give out my opinions on those. But again, more importantly, it's just to create some communication, to be able to interact, and hopefully encourage people to get involved in the channel. Do Daily is my daily vlog of how I get on through each day of each week, and experience the different things, how I come to terms with things, how I process my thoughts. I try and sort of spit it all out, blurt it out to the point of helping me understand myself, with the ultimate aim of trying to help those looking in and anybody that might not be feeling fantastic. Whilst I wouldn't say it's a mental health channel, I try and steer away from that for the obvious stigma that's attached to that. Not that I'm particularly scared of mental health or talking about it. There is an element of that. It's more about honesty, relatability, and some relative information that we can all share. Just little things where we might just think, oh yeah, that's great. I listen to a lot of things throughout the week, audio books, podcasts, inspirational videos, all that kind of thing to help me get about my things. But hopefully I can just pass a little bit of what I learn on, and just pass on my experiences and where I get it wrong as much as I get it right. And that's what Do Daily is all about. So before I go any further, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. That'll be absolutely amazing. Still ticking over ever so slowly, still doing what I do 3 years down the line, considering this all brand new, still getting out of my comfort zone. So I'd really, really appreciate the support. Like I say, ultimately it is to try and support others, but it helps me sort of get from day to day and understand where I'm at. So it definitely works for one person, yours truly. So if you can get behind it, that'd be amazing. If you can give a thumbs up to this live episode, that'd be amazing too. I'd really, really appreciate the support. Just helps with the algorithms and sharing it around YouTube just a little bit more. I appreciate the size of the channel, and it's not very big, but as ever, you've always got to try and improve, try to keep putting yourself out there, keep showing up. I think that's important, isn't it? And if you want to get in touch in any shape or form, all the platforms are scrolling across the bottom. Do Daily on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And of course, you can follow my personal accounts as well. If you're of a running persuasion, of course, I like to talk about lots of activity and how that helps me, and encourage people if they've got nothing else to use or nothing they particularly enjoy. Activity is always great, even if it's a little bit of walking or just some light jogging, absolutely anything it takes. Going to the gym, going swimming, it always makes a difference. So please follow the social media link scrolling across the bottom. And like I say, I'm open as well. My inboxes are always open for anybody who wants to talk on a more personal level, anybody that wants to reach out, anybody that might be struggling a little bit and has seen what I'm trying to do here and some of the things I've spoken about in the past. I've spoken about my issues really quite deep at times, really got into the crux of it and put myself out there, put it all on the line. But again, I think for me, this is the best way to approach things when it comes to supporting and encouraging others. We need to show people it's real. Sometimes the things we see on the television, whether it's depicted in a soap opera or a movie or something like that, or if it happens to famous people, it doesn't feel true, does it? They do a good job at sort of highlighting real issues, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it's ever going to happen to us. And all I'm trying to do here, not that bad things happen constantly, I'm just trying to show that we all experience the ups and downs. So I'd really, really appreciate the support. And of course, if you've got anything to comment, please do drop me a comment on the live episode, even if it's just to say hello. If If you've got anything you want to add to some of the questions, if you know a little bit more than me and you feel the need to put more information into what I've said, because I don't always get it right. I'm not experts on any of the subjects that I get asked about. It's completely random. Most of the time, like today, I don't even know what's coming. I've not read through it. Kay's put it together for me from the responses. So it's fantastic to just sort of set about what I'm doing with a blank piece of paper, a blank page, and just sort of fire off into some conversation. Hopefully someone gets something from it somewhere. But like I say, if you do want to comment, please do. And if you're not watching live, please comment on any of the videos. If you've got any questions for next week's Thursday episode, Thursday Thoughts, I'd really appreciate some input. You can comment on any of the social media, any of the questions. I pick it all up. I do read it. I'm not bothered about saying that. I love social media. Love the way we can use it for positive reasons. So I'll pick it out wherever you post it. So if you've got anything to contribute to any future episodes, or you want me to talk about anything, or you want to come on and talk about anything, I'd really appreciate that. All I look to do on a Thursday is create conversation around something, and I feel that's what's really important. As ever on a Thursday, what I'll do is just let you know how I'm feeling. I started the week. If you watch Mondays and Tuesdays episodes, Monday motivation, Tuesday training, really good spirits. Really pleased with Monday's episodes. Still feel like I'm at that stage of evaluating myself to the nth degree. Everybody says it comes across quite natural. It doesn't feel like that. So really pleased with Mondays. Really pleased with some of the feedback and the response it's got. And like I said, whilst it is a small channel, the relative number of views compared to what the other videos get. So I must have been saying something right. And again, I think sometimes when we're feeling good, we can express ourselves a little bit better, perhaps feel like we're being a little bit more genuine. I'm not saying we can't when we're the other way, but just felt fantastic from the weekend after sort of moaning and groaning about my injuries, my leg injuries, which mean I can't run, which mean I can't resort to that. Everything that happened at the weekend made me feel fantastic. If I'm completely honest, in reality, since I've had a relatively quiet week. Tuesday, I had a night off. I made the most of that. The episode on Tuesday explained that, out with the dog, taking him for an extra long walk, taking in the sunshine and some natural surroundings, somewhere I like to get back to when I've got a bit of time. So I was explaining all that, and it kept me in a great frame of mind. Last night at the running club, absolutely gorgeous evening. Lots of people turned up. It made for a great occasion there. We have a social after the running club. So again, these are all the things that work for me. And if I got sort of tired, and when I get tired and think, oh, I can't, I'm not putting as much energy into that. This is when things start to deteriorate just a little bit. So feeling really good. Busy day again. Always seems to be the case with work, but busy day. And then followed it up with a coaching session before coming on here. Still to have my tea. Bit late for that, in all honesty, but working on one or two things. Been listening to a podcast this evening, actually, about an audio book, actually, about drinking more water. And at this time of year, that's really important. Hopefully, I'll be able to take stuff out of that and perhaps at some point feed that back. But yeah, really content with myself this week. Looking forward to the bank holiday weekend. It feels like it's not, whilst not done much in some ways, it's been busy at work and all those things I said, kind of doing without a second thought these days. So it does catch up eventually. Looking forward to taking the pace off a little bit tomorrow. But it's the start of the T20. The football's just finished. The T20's on. So hopefully the sun will be back out. Or it's not been great today. It'll be back out, and I'll be at the world famous Trent Bridge cricket ground. Absolutely amazing place to spend your time, and being a big cricket fan. But being out in the outdoors, a couple of drinks on a Friday night. Not sure there's many better ways to spend it. Of course, it's on my doorstep as well. So whilst the football's winding down, the cricket's starting up. And speaking of the football, got the last away day of the season. Everybody knows I'm into that and how much that means to me. So really looking forward to that. Thankfully, I can do it without a care in the world. Forest is safe with one game to spare. So that's going to be a great day. I'm going to look to celebrate what's happened in the season. Friend's birthday as well this week, so bought him the ticket to go. It's great for me as well personally, because it was the first time I've been to every single away game, and I'm not gloating by saying that. It's just something I wanted to do on Forest's return to the Premier League, and it feels like I've achieved it. The only one I missed, the biggest schoolboy error ever, was for the wedding back in September. That was a game at the City Ground, but managed to get to every away ground. I've been to quite a lot of football matches in my time, but just sort of ticking that off just feels like a small win. And we started the week by talking about those, and it's been a catalogue of those, and hopefully over the next few days it gives me even more to put everything together again, and to keep this enthusiasm and enjoyment without getting too carried away. It keeps all that going, and it makes me feel great going into next week. And that's all we're ever looking to do on DOdaily, isn't it? Is just make sure we've got a smile on our face, make sure we're happy and content, and we're making the most of the things we enjoy. So whilst I can't do my running, I promised at the start of the week not to talk too much about that. I've been out for a walk with the dog while the guys were doing their session, their hard work, their boot camp type running session. Plenty of inspiration to draw from that, but out with the dog, made sure he got a walk. And again, just making sure I do at least some activity to keep myself going, listening to my audio book, doing different things. It keeps me sort of sane and not worried too much about the running side of things. But lots to look forward to over the weekend. Comment here from Eve. Hello, Des, everyone. It was great to see you on Saturday, and it was lovely meeting Kay. I've lost a stone since April, and I'm really happy about. So you should be. I wish I had, Eve. We're all on a different sort of journey with these things, aren't we? That's absolutely fantastic. Well done. Lovely to see you as well. I know Kay was pleased to see you. Eve's somebody who likes to come and say hello at the Forest matches, and that's always fantastic, isn't it? When people want to say hello. So thanks for doing it, Eve, and well done with the weight loss. That's really, really good. Really proud of you. So that's sort of everything to sum up where I'm at. These questions, which Thursday's all about, I will get into those, like I say. If you could give this episode a thumbs up right now, that would be absolutely amazing, just down here. That would really, really help. And of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you've got anything to add to any of these, like I say, it's all light-hearted stuff this evening. Nothing too stressful. Nothing too much to go at. Kay's assured me of that. Like I said, I've not looked at them. I'm just glazing over them now, and I've seen this one about the foot, so I'm going to have to talk about that. But there you go. Question number one. This is from Lisa. Have you been doing much this week to enjoy the sunshine? It's exactly what I've been doing, Lisa. Really, really trying to stay in a good mood, trying to stay doing the things I do. I've been out quite a lot. A couple of long dog walks as well late in the evening. I know that's not quite enjoying the sunshine, but we're having to consider him. It's too hot at times. He's a black lab, so it gets really, really hot for him. So I've spent a couple of evenings on a really late one, sort of gone 10 o'clock, when it's nice and cool, walking him around in the peace and quiet around the river. That's been really, really nice. But I mentioned the running club before. It's always great when the sun's out and we can meet up and have drinks and things like that. It always seems to put a smile on everybody's face. And if there's more happy people in one place, there's lots of positive vibes, isn't there? So really, really enjoyed that. That long walk on Tuesday. Earlier on, it was a bit cooler on Tuesday than it was on Wednesday. So enjoyed that one as well. Got him out sort of early evening, and I got back and got my feet up a bit when the sun did go down, and then just sort of setting the week off. There was a long walk, on Monday evening, Monday and Wednesday, and then the one slightly early on Tuesday, which I've just been outside in my playground, the River Trent, the place where I spend my life most evenings. I know I'm not moaning. That's absolutely brilliant. I do moan when it comes to the running side of it and not making the most of it that way. It'd be amazing to get out at the moment. We sort of bemoan the winter in the end. I like running in the rain. I like running when it's cold. but it all gets a little bit too much, and you get fed up of going out in the dark. Now the summer's really set about, and the warm days. It's hard sometimes running in the heat, but again, if you follow all the right rules, things we spoke about a lot and do daily, drinking water, doing all the things. There's lots of episodes that will refer to that. It's just great being out there, you know, and it's always nice to get a bit of a sweat on, get those endorphins really going, and enjoy all the blue sky and again those natural surroundings behind you. So yes, in answer to the question, really grateful for the upturning weather, to be honest. It's been a long time coming this year, hasn't it? It's been such a long time, arriving normally around sort of end of March, April, Easter. We might have a nice spell, you know, even early in May. My birthday's early in May, of course, and sometimes that's really up, but it never really got to the point of being a real hot day. I think yesterday might have been the hottest day of the year here in Nottingham, or it at least felt like it. So really pleased. It puts a smile on everyone's face. It just adds to that enjoyment, being able to do things in the evening, being able to see where I'm going on these dog walks, even though some of them have been really, really late. And everybody just enjoys it. When I'm out on the river, there's lots of people doing activity, lots of people having picnics and enjoying each other's company. And it's just great to see, isn't it? If you're not feeling fantastic, sometimes you have to surround yourself with that positivity. So really, really enjoyed that this week. Although the dog wants to go and play with everybody, he thinks it's his riverbank. I have to keep telling him it's actually mine. No, just kidding. And he wants to go and play with everyone, so it makes it a bit tricky when we take him out. But it's always sort of great to be out there, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. What I've been doing to enjoy the sun tomorrow, I've already touched on. I'll be in the cricket. Hopefully, there's many more sunny days over the next couple of months. For as much as I've loved the football, it's been up and down motorways. It's been hectic in the games. It's been exciting. You know, I wouldn't say I need a rest because I'll be moaning I've not got it in a couple of weeks when I've missed a few matches on TV or few matches to go to. But I feel like the cricket's just reward, and I get a lot from that as well. So really looking to spend time out there as well. So yeah, definitely. If anybody's got anything to add to any of that or anything about the weather, please do drop me a comment. Really, really love to hear it. There's a comment here from Glenn. Great to have you on, Glenn. Really, really appreciate the support as ever. Glenn really gets behind myself and the channel. Evening, Des, what are you doing with your extra time once the football season ends on Sunday? Well, I just touched on it there. I wish I'd read that a few seconds earlier, Glenn, but just touched on it that I will be enjoying the cricket, you know, of the weekends. There's lots of T20, real big T20 fan in the cricket. Got a membership at the cricket, which I get anyway, but it feels extra special this year because when I got married last year, we did it at the cricket ground, and you get a membership thrown in, so it feels like a freebie. So lots of cricket, lots of time around the river with the dog. Some Saturday afternoons out. Me and Kay quite often when we get a free Saturday afternoon, of course, we like to do our park run thing and go somewhere different and enjoy breakfast with friends. But sometimes we come back, have a couple of hours at home, relaxing. Kay normally has a nap. I normally watch a bit of TV. And then we go out somewhere random, sort of get in the car and go for a bit of a drive, take the dog out where we can have a real roam around and somewhere where we can enjoy different surroundings, especially if it's hot. That's nice. We like doing that in the winter as well, but obviously we're talking about summer right now. So I'll be doing lots of that. Hopefully get back into my running very, very soon and really pick that up as well. Dawn makes a comment here. Crystal Palace in the sunshine. Sounds amazing. Don't forget the beer in hand, Dawn. Looking forward to a couple of beers. No shame about that. No, not too fussed about people knowing that. I'm going to celebrate. Like I say, it's to celebrate Ian's birthday, Dawn's husband, and also to celebrate what Forest has done this season. And the fact it'll be the last time we see certain friends, you know, and there's no reason it should be the last time to see certain friends, but such as Glenn, who lives in London and goes to football with us, it's a great chance for us to catch up over football. So and there's a football family, so to speak. So it's always nice when there's people who you catch up and you enjoy it with in that sense, and potentially for a couple of months that's the last time you'll see them. So it's always nice to be around people who enjoy the same things, isn't it, in any walk of life. So that's why the last game this year especially is a real celebration. It seems to have been the Forest way for a few years. They give us some big occasions, so just looking forward to one last one where the result really doesn't matter. But I've said that already, haven't I? But no, really looking forward to it. Moving on to question 2. I did promise this week I wouldn't moan about my foot injury and my hamstring, but I've been asked the question, what are you looking forward to most about running again? Touched on most of it already. I'm not going to go too deep. The foot's okay one day, and then the next day it's not. I really do need to get in for some physio on my foot, especially. My hamstring seems to be healing. Lots of rest in terms of the running, not too much strenuous exercise. So that feels like it's coming together. When I have sort of broken into a run, just for whatever reason, or just to even test it a little bit when I've been coaching the guys, it's not been fantastic, the hamstring, but it is feeling a lot easier. I know it's not giving me too much trouble. So the rest has helped that. My foot injury is a bit more of a concern right now. It feels like every time not every time, sometimes when I press down on it, it hurts. From hurting my ankle and my ankle swelling up, thinking it was a sprain, it almost feels like it's the arch of my foot now. And when I press my foot down, occasionally I kind of flinch and it jolt back upwards. So if anyone knows anything about foot injuries or ankles, flat foot arches, whatever it might be, really appreciate any feedback on that. If you could add anything to it or suggest anything, I'd really appreciate that kind of support. I looked on the internet myself, but it's kind of a minefield, isn't it? And it's a dangerous thing to do. So looking to get some professional advice soon enough and really start making inroads with it. When it comes to doing it, I've mentioned already, looking forward to getting out in the sun whilst I like it in the rain. It's always nice on a cool evening. Summer rain as well, that's always nice when you're running. If you go out there when it's warm and then the rain comes along, you can also get to different areas with it. Like I like running in trails and woody areas. There's quite a lot, sort of as a mile or so sort of past the river, we get to the South Notts countryside. There's a couple of places, Clifton Woods locally, somewhere where I like to run through. So you can do that more in the summer. I tend to do it in the winter as well at the weekends, and sometimes I run in these places when it's dark. But it's much safer, much more accessible. Not as slippy. So it's nice to just start exploring. And again, that helps with motivation, especially when you're getting back into it and you're finding it tough. You're finding the running side of it tough because it's hard, because it will be hard again. I've had long enough now to lose quite a lot of fitness. So it'll be like starting all over again, which seems to have been the case recently. But again, you've just got to find different ways. And for me, it'll be just exploring and doing different things and really sort of taking the emphasis off how tough it is, enjoying running in the cooler trees. That's another reason why it's good to do something like that in the summer. You might get a bit of shelter from the sun, away from the roads where it feels stuffy and there's all that hot air from the vehicles. So again, and there's just much more to see. And I'll stop and take pictures if I feel like I can take a good one. So all these little things kind of add up, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. And there's lots I've got planned. I'm hoping to have my strongest for a while anyway. It might not be as strong as I was hoping it'd be. My training was going well for London until these injuries happened. But I'm hoping to have a strong autumn half marathon season. I sound like a professional there, don't I? I'm far from it. I'm far from the fitness levels of that as well. But I was hoping to really get into the best shape I've been for a while by then. But again, time is what it is, and I'm not going to sort of moan about it too much. So, really looking forward to it. you got anything to add about what you look forward to most about winning in the summer, or you've got any questions for me about how to go about it, or what measures you can take to sort of protect yourself, please do drop a comment. Please do drop it on any of the videos, like I say, throughout the week. I'd really, really like to sort of create some conversation around that as well. There is a video I did a long time ago. I'll perhaps attach it in, where there was my tips. It's when I was new to this channel and it was all a bit raw. I watched it recently. My tips for running, but the points are there. Whilst it was all raw, that the message is there of the things we should do. And again, drinking water, hydrating, wearing light colours, all those kind of things. So I'll perhaps dig that out. But if you've got anything to add, and especially about the injuries as well, I'd love to receive your comments. Thanks for that question, Tom. Dawn's made a comment here. Only downside to running in the summer by the river is attacked by the bloody midges. Absolutely. And try standing by the river waiting for people to come back. Every time I sit there, there's all these midges around. But no, they are what they are, aren't they? And they're extra protein when you swallow them as well, aren't they, Dawn? So that's not very nice. That's a horrible experience. But there you go. Just a reminder before I go into the third and final question, there's always 3 questions on a Thursday. Do give this episode a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate that. Do keep your comments coming. That would be absolutely amazing. Do ask me questions. And like I say, if there's any subjects, it's getting up to, I'm starting to think about the autumn half marathons. I'm an ambassador for the Robin Hood. I've had meetings this week about that and how what we're going to do around it. So it's all becoming relevant. I tend to do a preview for the Robin Hood and talk about the event afterwards, maybe with some of the guys who took part. Probably going to get a lot more into that side of things with events as I get back into them, looking to explain why I do them and what they're about and how good this event was. Get some vlogs in again when I get one in. Took a little bit of time out of the park run vlogs just to get myself moving forward with this Project Part 1 PB plan. And I was making good strides. I wanted to come on and report that I'd gone from here after being stagnant for the first 16 episodes, going back and forth. I'd made some good progress. But unfortunately, I've not been able to. So hopefully get some more Part 1 vlogs out as well and just mix up the channel. In some ways, take it back to what it used to be, but of course, keep evolving it and trying to do different things. So please do stay tuned. Like I say, please do give us a thumbs up and please keep supporting wherever you possibly can. Question 3, this is from Dave. It's got to be asked, who's going down on Sunday? This is, of course, referring to the Premier League and relegation, something Forest have been absolutely petrified of for 9 months. I've been petrified of. I actually thought for a lot of that time Forest would go down. That's not being negative. I think I've fully justified my support and the way I get behind the team and the positivity I put across. But I just thought it was inevitable at times. It didn't happen. That's what's made it even more special. What is happening now is there's other teams in a dogfight. I do say a lot on DOdaily. I try not to talk too much about football because it's not a football-related channel, but it is part of what I do, and people are interested. I've got a lot of football fans who watch the channel and subscribe, so really, really appreciate that. So when it comes to it, I think the obvious one is Leeds. Leeds will get relegated, which I won't be too disappointed by, and Leicester will get relegated, which I also won't be too disappointed by. They're our local rivals. I'm one of the only Forest fans probably that accept that Leicester are a local rival. I like calling people local rivals. I think it's a great thing. Some people try to dismiss their local rivals and say, oh, you're not rivals. Obviously, Derby are a bigger one. But for me, if Leeds and Leicester go down, and it runs a little bit deeper than that, of course, I try and be a positive person. So I'm not going to let my football annoyances and my football banter or whatever word you'd use to describe it get in the way too much. But when I came out of Leeds and Leicester this season, the two grounds who really went at us saying how rubbish we were. And of course we were. We got beat by them and they thought they were staying up and they gave us a load of grief. Coming out of Leeds in particular, it was a little bit edgy. I was kind of getting shoved about a bit and told I was Forest something or other, you know, and all these things. So um, whilst whilst I won't take any pleasure whatsoever from seeing a team relegated, honestly, it's probably the most dishonest thing I've ever said on here. Those two in particular, Everton, of course, are a big club, and we're not wishing ill of anyone, but sometimes it's good to see the big clubs go down. Forest have had to suffer it for long enough. But no, I think Everton will stay up, and the other two have just got a little bit too much to do. But that's not how football works, is it? We never quite know what's going to happen. So it'll be really, really interesting to see. As I'm at Palace, I'll be sort of tuned into the other scores and results. I'm really interested to find out what's going on and start planning for where we're going next season. Because again, we've always got to look forward, haven't we? Always make the most of it. If you've got any thoughts on who's going to get relegated, please do drop me a comment. I'd love to share those. It'll be absolutely amazing if you can. Like I said, I don't always talk about football, but I do appreciate there's a football following, and a lot of my friends are football fans. So that's a great thing. Bonus question here from Ian. It's the playoff final this weekend. Forest got promoted into the Premier League. So the flip side of relegation, of course, is those who get to enjoy the big occasions. It was amazing last season at Wembley. It's almost the anniversary of it, you know, and it was absolutely one of my best days ever. Quite simply, one of my best days ever. And of course, in 2022, I had a couple of those. I got married as well. So two days right up there, you know, if not two of the best ever. So playoffs, absolutely amazing. That was the point I was getting to, sorry. Absolutely amazing occasion. And these two teams are quite unfancied. These wasn't expected to be there. So I'm sure their fans are riding the wave of excitement and enthusiasm. Forest were last season. They really Forest sort of came out of nowhere as well, so it was a little bit unexpected at the time. Who do I think will win? Ooh, that's a tough one. Really don't know. If I had to go for anyone, Ian, I'd probably plump for Luton. Just because they're very hard to beat. Do fear for them on the big pitch at Wembley, but that's getting into technical football stuff, isn't it? That's getting a little bit too deep. If I had to go for anyone, I think it'd be Luton. Although both have had a real tough time. When I started watching football, which is a very, very long time ago now, some people like to tell me, especially Mr. Daw, these two teams were top teams, and they've gone right through the mill, their fans. Coventry losing stadiums, having to play in different cities and things like that. Luton went all the way to non-league, and this is almost full circle. So it's good to see teams come back. Be really interesting to see. But I just think Luton, without going on too much about it, will pick this one. Evening, Peter. Thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully you enjoy what's being said. Hopefully I'm thankful for the support as well. Quick question he's got in here as well. It's kind of gone along those football lines, which is absolutely fine because I talk about football all day long if people ask me questions. What has been your best match? I presume that means this season. I think the best match has to be Arsenal last Saturday. What an atmosphere at the City Ground. And I've been talking all week about the mood it's put me in. The excitement, you know, still living it. I rewatched it on television. I listened to all the radio stuff in bed at night, much to Kay's enjoyment. I listened to all the post-match analysis. I like to think I'm a bit of a football student of the game, or nerd, most people will call it. But I think it's got to be Arsenal. That atmosphere was on a different level. There's been some good ones, don't get me wrong. Beating Liverpool, you know, because we all have football rivals, as I touched on before. Beating Liverpool was special. If we'd have beat them away, I think nothing would eclipse that. I've been waiting. One ambition in football is for Forest to beat Liverpool at Anfield. But we won't get into the reasons for that. But I think the win on Saturday to keep us up, the excitement, actually being there with Kay as well. sat next to Kay. I was lucky enough. She was lucky enough to get a ticket, and that made it a bit special as well. And with friends, and then sort of meeting friends and drinking, to celebrate. What a day and what a performance! I think it was Forest's best performance of the season by a mile. One where they didn't put anything wrong. Of course, I do a bit of content around football as well. So if anybody is interested in my opinions on football, I do a match preview and report on Twitter. So do check that out. It's different content to this, but again, it's probably not that different considering the last few questions. But I do appreciate the comments. I think that Arsenal game, the Liverpool game at home was special as well. But it just seems to be getting better and better. And hopefully we can continue that excitement into the new season. And that's it, guys. Thanks for all that input. Thanks for those questions whilst we were live on as well. That's absolutely brilliant. Really, really appreciate that. That's what Thursdays is. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice now. That's what Thursdays are really all about. Just creating that small talk, getting people involved, and if there is anything serious to address, as and when needed, we'll do that as well. So really, really appreciate everyone watching. For one last time, please do get behind the channel, give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe. Please do watch some of the other videos. Even if you put it on the arm of the chair and bugger off in the kitchen, it'll get me a number. And that's what YouTube's all about, isn't it? Just trying to build it in any shape, any way, shape, or form, and hopefully, I can at some point reach one of my targets, which is getting up to 1,000 subscribers. It's really, really hard work, this YouTube business, but I'll keep at it. I'll keep doing what I do, and I'll keep putting content out there, and hopefully someone somewhere enjoys it. Peter says, thank you, Des. Another great vlog. Thanks for watching, Peter. Like everybody else who's made a comment, really, really do appreciate the support. If you want to get in touch, there's lots of reasons why you might, especially if you're not feeling it right now and you needing to find a bit of positivity and somebody to lend an ear to what you've got to say, somebody to listen, and perhaps offer one or two bits of advice in relation to the way I've dealt with things. Please email des@dorunning.all.uk. I'm here for absolutely anybody. Putting stuff out on YouTube sometimes is not easy, or on Twitter with a football comment. You get a bit of flack. There's always somebody to disrespect what you're doing, but that's absolutely fine. For all the people that get in touch and speak to me and I message sort of on a daily basis or as and when required, it makes it all worthwhile, and it makes it all sort of real, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something worthwhile, worth it to other people as well. But again, thanks for watching. The next episode will be up tomorrow evening sometime. Hopefully I can get up in the morning, get out, get a walk. That'd be a real nice way to cap off this week of getting back into some good habits despite the things I can't do. So I'll be out filming the episode, explaining where I'm at, hopefully still feeling good, taking it into the weekend, and using the fact I'm attacking the day to set about it in the right frame of mind and be positive. Until then, guys, have a fantastic evening. Just doing it.